I don't actually think I've ever felt so dodgy my whole life. This is how high up we are right now. The scariest road in the whole world. Terrifying. No barrier.
The road are bubbling around everywhere.
The scariest road in the whole world.
The van's going bonk, bonk.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about the Inghams and their road trip of dreams. They've had some tough times of these. They have the best adventures. Are in the Arctic at the moment, or heading that way. They are on Norway's territory, so beware Norwegians. But what we're about to witness here today is trigger warning territory, because, you know, some people may get triggered. Who knows? But panic attack inducing this trip was for a Mr. Ingham.
I don't actually think I've ever felt so dodgy my whole life. Like, this is how high up we are right now. And this is the scariest road in the whole world, with no barrier. Yeah. Terrifying. I don't know if this is going to make the vlog, because Chris might not be happy about sharing this. Chris just had the biggest panic attack I've ever seen him have in his whole life.
Well, Sarah, funny you should say that. It's the biggest panic attack you've ever seen him have in his whole entire life. But can I refer you to the following piece of text? So this was in response to somebody saying to Chris about panic attacks, and Chris says, "I honestly have never had one before." So would you like to revise your statement, Sarah?
Just completely out of the blue. I'm like, what are you doing? Is that my like, I can't, I need to get out of the van, I need to get out, I can't. I'm putting you all in danger. He's not. We're just on a normal road.
It's because they don't have a barrier, that's why.
And the roads don't have a barrier, so it looks scary. And I kept trying to just say, it's like my irrational fear last night that we were going to fall into the water. We weren't going to fall into the water, but because it's a fear, I kept replaying over and over in my head that we were going to fall into the water. And so it just made it completely irrational and go out of control in my own head. And he's just been doing the same, obviously, on the drive up, just imagining us rolling off. We're not going to roll off. The road's not even icy.
Or, Sarah, or it could have been something to do with this.
I don't actually think I've ever felt so dodgy my whole life. Like, this is how high up we are right now. And this is the scariest road in the whole world, with no barrier. Yeah. Terrifying.
No wonder the poor love had a panic attack. Jesus, seriously, Sarah. Imagine driving along what is essentially, in your words, a terrifying road, and you've got in your ear somebody saying, "And look, look how incredibly terrifying this road is. It's this and it's that," and he's trying to concentrate on the road. And that's all he can hear in his ear. Come on, Sarah, just listen to yourself.
It's got grit down, and there's snow around. Look, let me show you. Okay, so there's snow, but it's not, the roads are not icy. Like, that's not black ice or anything like that. It's just gravel with a bit of slush in between.
I feel dodgy.
I don't actually think I've ever felt so dodgy.
So, I have questions. Firstly, why are we seeing a second-hand view of what's happening from Isabel's point of view? But secondly, how is she filming from that seat, which is faced backwards? So she would be, like, sitting facing the wrong way, surely? Or was she actually facing your direction and she wasn't strapped in? If so, why wasn't she strapped in? Because, you know, it's, in your words, a terrifying road with no barriers. Do you know how dangerous that would be? Just saying, it's not the cleverest of things to do if you're not strapping your kids in on a dangerous road.
road are bubbling around everywhere.
Scariest road in the whole world.
The van's going boom, boom,
No barrier. Yeah.
I'm in a bad situation. I don't know what to do now.
No, it's fine.
So yeah, that was the drama. Chris freaked out. He stopped driving. He said he's putting them in a bad situation. Now, I would question why both Isabel and Sarah's cameras cut off at the moment where he started panicking. Just saying, I'm not saying I don't believe him, but I'm just saying that it would have been more believable if we could see what was going on anyway. But let's take one quick look back for 2 seconds to see exactly what was being said from a different perspective immediately before Chris freaked out.
This is the scariest road. We're bubbling around everywhere.
Scariest road in the whole world.
The van's going boom, boom,
No barrier.
So they were both at it. Both Isabel and Sarah really putting the fear of God into Chris. I'm sorry, I really don't know what else to say about that. That is literally what's happened here. I'll tell you my thoughts on it in a second, but I'm telling you, if you've got people in your ear like that telling you this is happening, this is bad, this is scary, this is this, that will get to you, especially if you're driving down what you're already thinking is a worrying sort of road. So yeah, Sarah, seriously.
You can't even see him because he's just literally gone right up there around the corner. You can just... he's there. But there's no barriers. And it's really, really high.
It's a small road, isn't it? It's a two-way road.
It's a very narrow road. We're very high. I've never ever seen him react that way. Have you?
No, never.
Well, no, because he never has.
Speaking of him never having reacted like that before, never having had a panic attack before, apparently, what happened here then?
Oh my goodness, I just made it back, but I kid you not, I think I just nearly drowned, and that's not like an exaggeration. I don't know what happened to me just then. I've just made it back to shore to Sarah, literally. The second after I put the camera down, I started thinking about the last thing I said, where I was like, oh, this is the point where I swim and I don't move forward and I just get dragged back.
Whoa.
Because I started swimming hard to get back. Whoa. And I started to, you know, like, careful. I don't know if you've ever had a panic attack before, but I just could suddenly feel one coming on. My chest went really tight. I felt like I couldn't breathe. My hands went tingly when I was swimming, and my brain was just going overdrive. My eyes started going black, and I'm not kidding you. I literally thought to myself, oh my God, I'm dead. I'm gonna die out here because there's no one else out here. There's no lifeguard.
People left.
I was on my own out there. There was no one here at all, and I was too far to shout for help. It's a lifeguard.
There is lifeguard.
Oh yeah, there's a lifeguard there.
There is lifeguards.
But I literally was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to shout for help. Can't breathe. My chest gone super tight. It was so weird. I've never ever felt like that before, ever. And I just managed to, I was like, just calm down, start taking deep breath, turn myself on my back. And I just slowly started kicking my legs on my back rather than swimming hard on my front. And thank goodness it went away.
Who knows how?
Care to explain yourself, guys? Do you? You even titled that vlog, having a panic attack in the middle of the ocean, thought I was gonna die. So it's almost, you know, as if that was some sort of clickbait, you know. I mean, to be fair, if you had a panic attack in the middle of the ocean, I swear that's not something you'd forget in for a very, very long time. You know, I mean, it's just about the worst place you could possibly have one. Just saying, it wouldn't be something I'd forget, certainly. So, just admit that you do some dodgy titling. You know, I don't mind a little bit of clickbait, but when you play on things like this, it kind of gets to me and a few other people. So,
It is. You don't even look that high when you look out the window.
It makes your stomach turn, doesn't it? Like,
But it's the lighting's horrendous. But it is really, really very high, and there is no barriers on the road, none at all. So yeah, I can understand why he's nervous. But I just want to. It's me. It's me going like that. Oh my gosh, everyone's like a nervous wreck. I understand why Chris is nervous, but I do just want to say we're not in danger right now. Chris has not put us in danger. He's not taken us up like a closed road or anything like that. It's a normal road.
Again, guys, at least stick to the truth a little bit. If you're going to clickbait something, be consistent. If it didn't happen, don't clickbait it. The title of the vlog specifies specifically that it was on a dangerous ice mountain pass. So, is it dangerous or is it not, Sarah? Stick to your story.
It's just a bit scary. He's coming back. He's running. Oh, he's running.
Have you ever stayed up to the sunshine? Came through fourth quarter in a crush time. Need to go flee on the rail like just one time. Have a fun time.
See, it's not that I don't believe you, Chris. Honestly, I'm trying my best to. I've tried my best to try and defend you a little bit as someone who suffers from said panic attacks. I would wager that I'd find it literally impossible to get back behind a wheel so soon after having a panic attack, and more so with 5 children in your car, in your van. I think that is wholly irresponsible of you. The best thing for you to have done was to find a safe spot, wild camp for a little bit, and when you're feeling better, get back on the road. Alternatively, you could have asked Sarah to drive, couldn't you?
I'm talking dreams so big that they'll haunt you, or they'll calm you. That's how you know if you gotta go and get it, get to win and not conquer. I had to go out and get it without a sponsor.
We made it, so what we're going to do is we're just not going to talk about anything that happened in the last half an hour. We're just not going to talk about the last half an hour, just going to completely ignore it happened. It's fine. It's fine. Someone's got a drone out.
No, it doesn't. This is reversing camera.
Oh, is it? We made it to the top. There was actually barriers at some parts. I don't know why there was barriers, because they were like that big. But yeah, that was a hairy drive.
Always worth it.
Right, we're at the top. We're not going to talk about the fact we've got to drive back down there, but we're at the top.
So I had assumed originally that Sarah couldn't drive the van for whatever reason, because, you know, you would let her drive the rest of the way. Surely you've just had a panic attack. But in response to somebody asking that very question, Chris says this: yeah, Sarah does do a lot of the driving, which is odd because we've never ever seen her drive the van anyway, especially when I'm filming certain shots, but I wouldn't have felt comfortable leaving the responsibility of that particular road to anyone but myself. Now, Sarah is a very, I'm not going to say very, but more than a competent driver. She drives all the time, right? Now, she would be more than capable of driving your kids to a safe spot until you feel better to drive. I'm just saying that would be the most logical thing to do. There was not just if I don't drive us, we're not going to get to where we're going to go situation. You know, I mean, you could even have gone and had a lie down while Sarah drives. I'm not suggesting that people do that, but I'm just saying it could have been an option just to, you know, sort yourself out. Anyway, Sarah should have got behind the wheel if you had truly had the panic attack that you say that you did have.
And we're going to go and check out the view.
I got you feeling this heat rise. Have you ever stayed up to the sunshine? Came through fourth quarter in a crush time. Need to go flee on the rail like just one time. Have a fun time. Know you feeling it. I got you feeling it. Know you feeling it. I got you feeling it.
What? This view is insane. I can't believe we finally got this place to ourselves. Oh my gosh, it is amazing. I cannot believe I just can't believe what I'm looking at right now. It's crazy. It's by far exceeded all of my expectations of what I was going to see here or in this area. So welcome to the Steggerstein viewpoint, just above the, I'm going to say this probably wrong, but the Orleans Fjord. The Orleans, Lands Fjord, which is the most photographed fjord in all of Norway. This scene right here from this viewpoint, and I mean I can see why. It's just absolutely incredible. You could hear a pin drop up here because of all the snow. The acoustics are insane. I just can't believe how good it is. Definitely worth the drive up, the scary drive up.
See, now I get why you would say something like that. It's worth the drive if you can get past all the scariness and everything and you come out the other side, and it's so worth it. However, you've got 5 kids to think about. I'm not so sure that I would say that risking, because it's not the scary drive that was the danger, it was the panic attack that was the danger. So I'm not so sure risking your 5 kids' lives is worth the view. I'm just saying, that is my opinion.
And although it was a scary drive up, there's been numerous vans like that are nowhere near as kitted out as our van is, coming up and down it. So I think it's just because I was just being nervous driving up it.
Oh, listen guys, his van is the most kitted out van that they've seen today. So don't be worrying about the quality of van. Anyway, Chris, you looking over that big drop there, down that viewpoint, I'm thinking it's not such a good idea, having just had a panic attack. I'm just saying it wouldn't make you feel that good, right? Okay, so speaking of which, we have an explanation of how Chris, the king of getting through panic attacks and anything mental health related, we all remember what his infamous doctor once told him.
Basically, he said to me, whenever you think about something anxious or a thought like that, that's not good, that's not healthy, say to yourself, that is a D-head thought. That's a D-head thought. Say it to yourself, reboot, and feel better.
But Chris has explained it all. So Chris said, I honestly have never had one before, so it wasn't a nice feeling, but 2 minutes of rationalising it outside the van got my head straight. I'd watched a video the night before about a Sprinter van turning over on a similar pass, etc. Okay, so the bit about him taking 2 minutes of rationalising it outside the van got his head straight. Now, if you have a panic attack, 2 minutes is kind of ridiculous, okay? No chance. It's not about rationalising it in your head. It's not about saying, yeah, this was just silly. It was silly. And your feelings go away. They don't. I mean, any panic, anxiety, by its very nature, is irrational anyway. Now, you take 2 minutes. It takes me hours upon hours to get over it, if not until the next day. Sometimes the next day, I'm still feeling a bit groggy. So I'm just saying that it's you taking 2 minutes and then just popping back in the van and on your way. It sounds, on the face of it, kind of ridiculous and fairly unbelievable. I'm just saying that is how most people are going to see it. I'm sorry, Chris. I've tried my best to defend you, and to a certain extent, I do sympathise with you because you had this to contend with.
I don't actually think I've ever felt so dodgy my whole life. This is how high up we are right now. The scariest road in the whole world. Terrifying. No barrier.
The road are bubbling around everywhere.
The scariest road in the whole world.
The van's going bonk, bonk.
So yeah, Chris, with all that to contend with, I'm surprised you didn't open the door and jump out and leave them to it.
Because it was a bit hairy. Obviously, understandably, I worry more about the fact that, you know, everyone's in the van with me. If I was on my own, I wouldn't be worrying as much, but I worry more because, you know, everyone's with me.
So this happened. Chris, you posted this picture on Instagram with the caption, "Our video from this day went up on our YouTube channel and is not one you want to miss. Having a panic attack while driving up a 650 meter high mountain, single track, ice, dirt road in a Sprinter van. Comment down below if this would scare you. What the actual is the matter with you? Seriously, you are a twat of the highest order. Comment down below if a panic attack would scare you. Yes, probably. Would it? You? Idiot."
And the roads were, you know, single track with no barrier for the most part. So it was pretty scary. Like I said, we've got snow rate tyres on. I've just put the snow chains on to go back down, so I feel a bit more safe. And there's been cars and vans the same size as ours coming up here with, you know, just regular tyres on. So, and they've been absolutely fine, so I'm not worried. But this was by far worth the drive up here.
You've heard it here first, guys. Risking your 5 kids' lives was so worth it because the views are so amazing. So incredible views. So if you ever want to go to Norway, don't worry about the roads. Don't worry about having panic attacks on the road. If you have a panic attack, just power through despite your kids in the back. You know, just saying. So Chris, I'm just saying that, I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm saying that whatever the case is, stupidity follows you around, and you should not have gotten back in the car or the van and driven on, having just had a panic attack, alleged. So everybody else, take that as a good piece of advice if you should ever go to Norway, and please remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. Comment everything you want to comment down below, and I've said subscribe, but do it again anyway. Come back again tomorrow for another video, and take care, and bye bye.